project. This is going to be some custom cabinetry that is going to go in my basement for wine and whiskey. I'm a whiskey drinker, my wife is a wine drinker. So what you saw, the only thing you've seen so far was me staining this good two-side birch plywood. I then went ahead and coated it twice with clear, and I didn't film that just because this entire shop is just a mess. It's my first time trying it. I picked up this sprayer here, just a Husky. It runs off of my little pancake compressor at a low PSI, and worked pretty good actually for like just a $100 sprayer. I was pretty impressed. So I'll keep using that as I go. And for anyone curious, I just use Verathane products. They're readily available here where I'm at. Just a black stain, straight up says black, and then just a water-based semi-gloss clear, and that is what went on to this birch plywood. Then I also, you may notice, had to put some time and attention into my table saw top, and I resurfaced it with this 1/8" MDF, which is, I just inherited this build, this system when I purchased it. I think it might have been like a machine shop, a fab shop of some sort, cabinet shop, but it was being used in an industrial setting, and bought it at an auction for a song, essentially. So the way they had it set up is they had this 1/8" MDF over everything so that they could peel it off and put it back on if it ever, started to get worn. And mine, one that was on it before, was actually starting to lift in spots. So yeah, clean that up real good, and now I'm ready to do some cuts for this project. So I still don't have an L-feed table, so it's going to be a little bit tricky for me to do this on my own. Do these rips. And basically just going to rip all this stuff down. I got my cut list here that I've pre-planned, and I will just be cutting, stacking, and we're just going to kind of go with it as we go through this project. You'll start to see it come together. I don't have any drawings up like I did last time for you, and you're just going to have to wait and see. I think that's about it. I'm going to start cutting. Excited to get started here. Left, and then I've got all the components except for the back and the top, which I'm not totally sure what I'm going to do yet for the top. But once I get these last 4 cuts done, all the components are cut. Oh, I guess I got a kick to make to it. a lot of the components, the carcass essentially, is ready to go. Just to talk quickly about a couple things. You may have noticed I put some tape as I was cutting on my miter saw. Now, the reason for that would be just to try to minimize some of the tear out from the blade spin. And it's not something that's foolproof. You're still going to get tear out, and I don't really care that much because all of the edges are going to be hidden inside dado. But so you can see as I take the tape off, you're still going to get some chipping, but that's all going to be embedded 3/8 into the long pieces, so I'm not too concerned, but that sure does look a lot better than if you don't use it and you just end up completely ripped apart there if you don't do anything. And in a perfect world, if you needed, if this wasn't being dadoed, it wasn't going to be hidden, then you probably wouldn't do it on the saw there. Table saw would be a better bet. And for this piece, I'd have to make like a custom sled probably to put it in, to pass through all sorts of work that is not needed because I am going to be dadoing all of these. The only edge that you'll see will be the very front edge of all of the components, all the shelf dividers and the shelves themselves. And then that's just going to get a birch tape. So it's just like an iron-on tape. And so just has an adhesive back, and when you iron it on, the glue will then go ahead and stick to that front. So that's how I'm going to just hide the only edge that I need to be worried about. So the chip out's not a big deal to me, but good practice anyway still to try to minimize the amount of splitting. Just I guess a habit more than anything. What else? I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to do my dados yet. I do have a dado set for the table saw. But because these are 16 inches wide, I would need to build a sled, most likely, to make it work with a miter gauge. I might look into using my router for that, something I've never done before. Because I have these big long rabbets that are going to need to run down the back side as well. Because the back pieces, which I haven't cut yet, they're going to get housed inside a rabbet on the back side. So trying to figure out how to use that router in that way is going to be kind of fun. Something I've never messed around with. I've always been a table saw kind of guy. So I think I might mess around and try that out. Obviously off camera, figuring out how to do it, and then you'll get to see me do it. Also, you'll notice I kept my cutoffs. There's going to be cutoffs for these two. I'm also going to keep those. Always keep your cutoffs until the end of your project because they are valuable pieces to use for practices. And I'm going to be using them a ton for practicing with the router when I get to that step. And it's important that you try to use the same material because depending on when you purchase your material, what factories it came from, you can have tiny variations in sizes. So keeping some of that material that you made, especially important when you mill up hardwood, keep the cutoffs and use those up as practice pieces. Man, this should blow fast. This is cheap birch. I didn't get crazy expensive with the two-sided stuff I was purchasing because it was all getting stained black anyways. But you can see it's blowing pretty bad on me, which is kind of something I was expecting. Still a pain in the ass. I'm try to keep it flat. It's also really humid here right now, which is not normal for where I live. So it's definitely going to be affecting the wood as I cut into it. And I think I'm ready to go for my last 4 cuts. Oh, the other thing, I got to figure out what's going on with my vacuum. You may have noticed there's a lot more dust in the air than normal, so might have to empty it, clean the filter, something like that, but it's not sucking very good. I think that's about it. I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to end the video, and then I've got some figuring out to do, and once I've got things figured out, we will be getting back together to start rounding all of the rabbits and the dales. So, thanks for tuning into this one. Cut these 4 pieces, and then we'll say goodbye.